Hi friends, today we're going to do my less than 10-minute writing exercise that will improve your writing by expanding your vocabulary. I've selected 3 words for us to play around with, and we're going to use each one of these words in a sentence so we can better understand them by putting them into context. I will give you general definitions, but I've also included links below to Merriam-Webster's website where you can find the formal definitions and pronunciations. The 3 words I've selected today for us to play around with are imperative, imposition, and dorsal. Imperative, imposition, and dorsal. If you're familiar with these words, great. Just have a little fun with your writing and see what you come up with. If you're not familiar with them, let's play around with them and just have a little fun so that these words become familiar for you to use in your writing. Let's start out with imperative. An imperative can either be an adjective, a word that describes, or it could be a noun, a word that represents a person, place, or a thing. All right, an imperative means necessary, an order, or a command. All right. Let's first use it as an adjective. They pondered the imperative measures they must take to remedy the situation. So we're describing the types of measures that they are going to take in order to remedy the situation. All right, they're necessary measures, imperative measures. Let's use imperative as a noun. It was the club's imperative that all potential new members must complete a 2-week trial period. So this club has a trial period for all new members, and it's imperative, it's necessary that they pass this 2-week trial period before they can become a member. All right, let's move on to imposition. And imposition is just a noun, a word that represents a person, place, or a thing, and it means something imposed or burden. Okay. Higher taxes would create an added imposition on consumers. I'm sure we could all easily understand this. We don't want higher taxes because it makes more of a financial burden on the public, the consumers. So that's imposition. Imposing or a burden on these consumers. Let's move on to dorsal. And dorsal can either be a noun, a word representing a person, place, or a thing, or it can be an adjective, a word that describes. And it means an ornamental cloth hung behind an altar. That's something I didn't know. Or it can mean relating to the back of an animal. And that's more familiar, what I'm more familiar with. Anyway, let's first use it as a noun. Okay, survey biologists were alarmed by the unusual sores on the dorsals of the sample fish they took from the lake. So these survey biologists are sampling the fish to find out if the lake is contaminated, and they're finding these unusual sores on the backs, on the dorsal backside of these animals, of these fish. That's dorsals as a noun. Let's use dorsal as an adjective. All right. The black cat had a splash of white on its dorsal region. So you got this black cat with a little bit of white on its back. On its dorsal region. You're describing where the region of the cat on its back. You'd probably just say, that black cat had a splash of white on his back. You wouldn't say dorsal region. Dorsal kind of sounds a little awkward in that sentence, but you get the idea. I'm describing where on the cat, its dorsal region. Anyway, 3 wonderful, interesting words: imperative, imposition, and dorsal. If you're unfamiliar with these words, play around with them. Make them part of you so they're accessible to you when you write. If you enjoyed this writing exercise, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy writing.